Hey, Jesse,
What's up, girl?
what you drinking?
So I hooked up because you were drinking White Claws. So I put a little White Claw with this Bullet Old Fashioned mix. And it's so good. Like, I'm loving it. What you got going on over there?
So I made a specialty cocktail. It's with a witch's brew margarita mix that I got from Bell's Outlet. Yes, they sell that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's blackberry flavored, but it's very, very sweet, even though it's sugar free. And so I cut it with some Sprite Zero, tequila, of course, and blackberry White Claw.
Yummy.
So I got my own witch's brew going on here.
Awesome. So ready. Like, the weather has been cool all week long.
It's beautiful.
And I'm just
It's
so
sweater
ready.
weather.
Sweater weather.
I'll say that as many times as I possibly can.
So
It's exciting.
we got
Sweater
a lot
weather.
of cool stuff coming up real soon for you. It's going to be a big one. Y'all strap on in. You guys ready? Hey, hello everybody. How you guys doing? Happy Friday.
Yes, it's Friday.
It was a week for me.
Same.
How you doing, baby?
I am doing okay. I am nervous as fuck. This one's a monster, but it is so important to
You've
me.
been geeking for a month.
Yeah.
Over this.
Yeah.
Tell them what you got.
This case is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do a podcast, because it just gripped me. I don't know what rock I'd been living under, but I actually had never heard of this. And if I did, I forgot until about a little over a year ago. So this is West Memphis Three.
Here we go.
This will be a 3-parter. And these will be a little bit longer than our first 2 episodes because this case is massive. I could do a 10-part and it still wouldn't cover all the bullshit that has happened in this case. But we're going to break it down in 3 parts, and I'm going to suggest documentaries, books, other podcasters, and everything that I think you should check out as well.
So, like, disclaimer, I'm not supposed to know anything about this, but I think, like,
you know a little bit.
Ricocheted to me a little bit.
You watched a little bit of the Paradise Lost documentary with me, because that was the one I've became obsessed with this after I heard about it for the first time. And I was like, I want to tell him about it, but I don't remember why we never finished watching it. And so it was great because I got a lot to fill you in on.
Right. So to be honest, like, I don't remember it. I was probably drunk.
Yeah, most likely. We watched it on a Friday. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I don't know. But I'm excited. Like, Lindsay has been crazy geeking about this thing forever. And I just, I've been looking at what our momentum and everything we had over this past, we've had over 50 downloads of our podcast. I'm just like, I don't understand.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you. Like, I don't understand that support already. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone out there. It's amazing just to see, like, our little baby growing, and I love it. I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen when we're 50 podcast in. So, and I'm just, thank you so much, guys. And Lindsay is just raring to go, but I figured I would talk just for a second. That way she has to calm down. I
do. My nerves are a mess. All right, let's get into it.
Here we go.
All right, so this case will consist of 3 parts, and this one is, like I said, it saddens my heart so much because of, 1, how the victims died, to the 3 boys that were wrongfully convicted and what they went through. 3, the complete miscarriage of justice that happened in putting 3 innocent boys behind bars. And 4, the fact that the real killer will never be found.
Wow.
I have cried. I've been angry so much while listening to and watching coverage on this case. And it makes me even more sad and angry that this is not the only case out there like this. This one is just more famous. And we'll get into more about why in part 3. But the horrific witch hunt in this investigation, if you can even call it an investigation, the trial and convictions are absolutely haunting. And there are a lot of trigger warnings. So beware in this case, including harm to 3 little boys.
Wow.
All right. So we'll start with the crime. On May 5th, 1993, 3 8-year-old boys, Stevie Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Byers, were reported missing in West Memphis, Arkansas. And it's called West Memphis because it's literally over the bridge from Memphis.
Yeah, across the river.
Across the river, right. The first report was made by John Mark Byers, Christopher Byers' adoptive father, around 7 p.m. All 3 boys had been at school that day and had gotten together after school to ride their bikes in an area called Robin Hood Hills. Neighbors had seen them together around 6:30 p.m. and had heard Terry Hobbs, which was Stevie Branch's stepfather, calling them to come home. Friends and neighbors had started searching that night, but the mosquitoes were so thick, and I can't even imagine this. The mosquitoes were so thick that they had to continue the search the next morning. So around 1:45 p.m. on May 6th, juvenile parole officer Steve Jones found a little boy's shoe with the laces out, which led him down to a drainage ditch where he found the bodies of all 3 boys. Now, they weren't just visible. He had to get down in this muddy, murky, I've seen what it looked like. It's disgusting.
So they're like tucked away down into the mud.
Their bodies were pinned down into muddy, murky drainage ditch water. And he found all 3 of them. They had been stripped naked and had been hogtied with their own shoelaces. They had several ligatures and lacerations, and Christopher Byers' scrotum had been mutilated. I'm going to probably cry some in this. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try to choke it back, but yeah. Their clothing was found thrust into a nearby creek. So here's a little back information about the victims. So Stevie Edward Branch was the son of Stephen and Pamela Branch, who divorced when he was an infant. His mother was given custody and married a man named Terry Hobbs. Remember Terry Hobbs. Remember that name. We'll talk about him more in part 3.
Hobbs, yes.
Yes. So Stevie lived with his mom, Terry, and half-sister Amanda Hobbs, who was 4. And remember Amanda, too.
Amanda and Hobbs.
Yes.
I want to forget.
I mean, I'll of course remind, but yeah, just put a pin in those.
Yeah.
Christopher Mark Byers was born to Sharon Melissa Defer and Rick Murray, and his parents divorced when he was 4 years old, and his mother married John Mark Byers, and he adopted Chris. He lived with his mom, John Mark, and stepbrother Sean Ryan Clark. James Michael Moore was the son of Todd and Dana Moore. He lived with his parents and 9-year-old sister Dawn. They say he was the little leader of the pack, and they were all little Boy Scouts, and he was wearing his uniform when he died. He loved wearing it all the time. And in the West of Memphis documentary, Pamela Hobbs was holding his little uniform.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we're going to go to we're going to sidetrack a little bit to Mr. Bojangles.
So it's really rough saying all this, especially when you have children and little boys too. We've raised 4 together.
Yes. Yeah. And we got a little grand boy.
I want to be a puddle too. You know that. And, it's like we feed off each other. We've been together forever. And
yes.
It's just like if she's puddling, I'm puddling, and vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah, this case is definitely
it's puddle time.
One to drink about. Yeah.
So gotta have. I'm cheers.
Cheers.
Not cheers to that, but cheers.
Yeah, not cheers to that, but cheers to
puddling, I guess.
Pressing on. Okay.
We'll hide them back with laughs somehow. I'll find something to say.
All right. So this little segment is going to be Mr. Bojangles. So John Mark Byers reported Christopher missing around 7 p.m. And around 8:42 p.m., a call was made to the police from workers at a Bojangles chicken place. We don't have a good experience with Bojangles, but we won't talk about that.
In Florida. Sorry. Everyone.
That was in Georgia, the one we went to. It was in Valdosta.
Well, the one in Valdosta. Well, it's close. It's close. Like the two in Florida. No, the four in Florida that I've been to, and Valdosta was just don't do it.
Don't come for us, Bojangles.
I'm not trying to down them by any means. Don't come for us. Hey, I don't know. But,
so Bojangles was located near Robin Hood Hills, where the bodies would be found. And they stated that a mentally disoriented black man was inside the ladies' room. He was bleeding and had gotten some of the blood on the walls. Officer Regina Mills took the report from the fucking drive-through window. And by that time, the man had already left. The next day after the bodies were found, the manager called the police back, thinking there was a connection. The police then took samples of the blood on the walls, but Detective Brian Ridge testified that he actually lost those blood scrapings, and guess what? Later, a hair belonging to a black man was found on one of the sheets wrapped around one of the boys.
Oh, so it's on then.
Yeah. Oh, we're just beginning. Okay. Just beginning.
Okay.
So early in the investigation, the WMPD suspected two teenagers by the name of Chris Morgan and Brian Holland. They both had a history of drug offenses and had suddenly took off to California 4 days after the bodies were discovered. Morgan had known the boys from driving an ice cream truck around their neighborhood. They were arrested in Oceanside, California, and given polygraph tests on May 17th, 1993. Now, let's talk about polygraph tests for just a moment. Polygraphs are not accurate.
I don't trust them now.
And nor they are admissible in court.
Yeah, never
you don't have to take one. If you're ever in trouble for something that you have not done, or even if you have done it, don't take one. They're useless.
Drunk, or if you got gas.
I don't understand why they are used, but they are nonetheless.
A menstrual cramp would change it. Honestly.
Yeah, and even if you have high blood pressure, if you're just anxious about the situation you're in,
for sure,
it can detect deception.
Nervous. So you're nervous.
Yeah,
you're
and who would be nervous?
How the hell? All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So both Morgan and Holland's results indicated deception. And Morgan even said that because of his history of alcohol and drug abuse, he would have blackouts, and actually said that he might have done it.
What?
Yeah. But later, this statement was barred from being admitted into evidence. Barred. Yeah. Okay. So now, statistically, most of the time, crimes like these are committed by a family member or someone close to the victim.
Yeah.
That is statistics. That's not my opinion. That is actual facts.
Right.
But none of the families were questioned or searched or interrogated.
Wow.
None of the families of the victims, anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this crime was so horrific to these simple Southern folks in the Bible Belt that they couldn't even wrap their minds around it being anything but of the devil and some sort of cult ritual.
God.
The preacher's sermons were all about the end times, and the community speculated wildly. I mean, it was insane.
Times.
Yes. And this was in 1993. This was 10 years after the McMartin preschool trials, and we learned nothing from that.
Raise your hand if you were told that the end of times are coming.
Oh, God.
Live right.
Every week for
every day.
Most of my childhood.
Day.
Oh, yeah, every day. But like,
especially if there's like another Christian that comes up into a conversation.
The case became widespread and the police had no leads. And so here comes the witch hunt. Suspect number one in the witch hunt, and the one who got the worst of literally everything, was Damien Echols. And here is some of his story. I have spent so much time on this case, researching online, listening to other podcasters, watching documentaries, and also listening to Damien's audiobook, Life After Death. I swear I feel like I kind of know him now, but it's highly recommended. Gotta listen to that book or read it. I have to listen because I'm busy and I got to be productive.
She is always on the go. I
Yes.
swear to God.
Always. So Damien was born Michael Wayne Hutchinson on December 11th, 1974. He's a Sag like you, babe.
Uh-oh.
He was born to Pam and Joe Hutchinson. His family was extremely poor and moved around quite often, and he had attended 8 different schools by the age of 10.
Damn.
By the age of 10. I mean, it's hard for me to fathom this type of poor, but I know you have some.
I have stories.
You have some connection to Damien and what he went through.
Don't puddle me early.
I'm not going to puddle you. I'm just saying.
I'm not going to stop you because there's so much to go.
There is so much to go.
You go.
So Pam and Joe divorced when he was around 8, and later when he was 13, his mother married a man named Jack Echols, and Damien ended up taking on his last name. Jack had them first live in the church that they attended and then moved them out to a farm shack. It was literally like how do I describe it? It was like literally it was just a shack just on this farm, like, and it had nothing. It was just
a remodeled barn.
Not even remodeled. There was no indoor plumbing. There was nothing. I don't know how they survived. Honestly, I don't know how they. Yeah, I don't know how they lived in there.
I've been there.
So later on, when he moved to the trailer park, that was absolutely an upgrade. Damien is extremely intelligent, even though he did not do well in school. And he was interested in all kinds of religions, from Buddhism, Wicca, and Catholicism. He did not like the Pentecostal Church of God that his stepfather made him go to. So when he really wanted to go to a Catholic church, he had to present it to his mentally and physically abusive stepfather in, like he said, when you're approaching someone of that mindset, you have to tell them, I have a calling.
Right.
So I have a calling to go attend this church and see.
It's a spiritual journey.
It's a spiritual journey.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the only way that he would expect it.
Right.
And it worked. Jack would take him to mass. And that was a pretty big deal because Jack was such an asshole that when he would make them pray, and he would make them do that often. They had a little chihuahua named Pepper that when it jumped up on the bed, he would punch it in the face.
What?
A chihuahua. Come on, man. The Catholic Church is where he got the idea for his name that he later changed to Damien, from Saint Damien, who cared for the lepers in the 1800s. He was Father Damien back then, and then later got a sainthood.
Right.
So Damien wore black clothing, listened to metal and punk, shaved his head on one side, and was a skateboarder. Wrote dark and expressive poetry. So he was like the people that we hung out with in 1993.
Exactly.
Yeah. But in West Memphis, Arkansas, that made him a witch. Evil.
Yeah, because if you're on that side of the bridge, it's Arkansas. It's not Tennessee. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, it's West Memphis.
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Well, it can't be any real difference between there and the other side of the bridge, but still, yeah.
It seems, it's like I've been in another world listening to all this shit over the last month. Yeah. So he loved horror movies, and his favorite article of clothing was a long, black, filthy trench coat that he had found in a closet of one of the homes he had lived in. Now, he did replace it later on with the others, but this was before trench coats were deemed as like school shooting type shit,
it was more of a duster, probably. Yeah.
And in his book, he says that the trench coat made him feel safe, and wearing black was aesthetically pleasing to him. His home life was horrible, and he acted out like most kids do in that type of situation. He had a smart mouth. He was a little combative asshole, and he had been in trouble for small time shit like shoplifting and vandalism. So Damien's first real love was a girl named Deanna, who was a Wiccan, even though her parents were devout Christians. And she taught Damien about it, and he loved it because it was all about Mother Earth and goddesses. No devil.
Yep.
So their relationship was super intense. And a series of events like skipping school together would get them banned from seeing each other by her parents. They tried to make it work, but Deanna broke up with him, stating that it was just too hard. And this literally destroyed Damien mentally, and especially when she went on to date another guy.
Right.
According to his book, this was the only time he got violent with anyone, and he did indeed fight the boy that Deanna was dating. And he later found comfort in a girl named Dominique Thier, who he was never really in love with, but enjoyed her company. A little while later in the school year, Deanna came back to him, and they made a plan to run away together at the end of the school year. When it came that time, so he was around 17 at this time, but I don't really know what grade he was in. I know he was behind. And Deanna was just a little bit younger.
Yeah, still in high school. Either way.
Right. They were both in high school. They were both teenagers.
Yeah.
So when it came time, they did just that, along with Damien's best friend, Jason Baldwin, who would later on be suspect number 2. They made it to the next town over and found an abandoned trailer, and Jason left them there to go back home. Deanna's parents called the police, and they found them and arrested them both. And even though they hadn't stole anything for the trailer, they were charged with burglary and sexual misconduct because they were indeed caught in the act.
Uh-oh.
So enter Jerry Driver. This man would become absolutely obsessed with Damien. Jerry would become his juvenile officer and immediately started asking Damien about witchcraft and satanic cults. This man considered himself to be an expert on the subject and was sure that West Memphis was a hotbed for this activity.
Arkansas?
Driver, yeah. Oh, yeah. He was. Oh, God. Jerry Driver is the devil.
The devil.
Fuck you, Jerry Driver. All right. Driver and his buddy Steve Jones, another juvenile officer, the one that actually found the bodies of the boys, they would drive around during full moons and try to find satanic or witch coven activity.
So an actual
like
witch hunt.
They were literally witch hunting, y'all.
Hunt.
This is not bullshit. This is fact. This is absolute fact.
They
needed so many hobbies.
So much Satan going on everywhere.
For some reason, rumors had started that Damien and Deanna were going to have a baby and sacrifice it to Satan. And this landed Damien a trip to the psychiatric hospital. Now, Damien was held in jail for several weeks, even though the breaking and entering into a trailer is a misdemeanor at most.
Right.
But Driver went around town asking about him and went to his parents' house asking to search his room. This is not legal. This is a juvenile officer.
Well, they're going to do what they want to do. You know, they know they're the devil. So.
And so when he was in the psych hospital, they did diagnose him with depression and possible bipolar disorder. But in his book, he said that he was very depressed. His life sucked and he missed Deanna. I mean, he was in jail for, just pretty much being in love and trying to be with the girl that he loved. And you know how teenage love is. It can be intense.
Yeah, so he's a teenager. Stupid. He's outspoken. Yeah. His heart's broken. He's trying to bounce back. And he's trying to become his own person.
Right.
Yeah.
So when he got out, he was released back to his parents, Pam and Joe, who were now back together. Pam had kicked Jack Echols to the curb. So they went up to Aloha, Oregon, where Joe had been staying since the divorce. When he got there, he had to meet with another juvenile officer because he was still on probation. This officer asserted that he should be minimally supervised for 4 months and then released from the system because what he had done was not that serious. But Jerry Driver down in Arkansas did not agree. Jerry called up there and told that officer that Damien's parents had called him and said they were afraid that he would hurt himself and was put in another psych hospital.
So was Jerry a race car driver?
Oh, God. He is not cool enough to be in the category as Les Claypool. So let's leave Les out of this.
Every time you say Jerry Driver,
I know.
Where's the race car? All right, sorry, go ahead.
So Damien said he did not want to hurt himself, but he was very depressed because he missed Deanna and his best friend Jason. and his family life was miserable. So he was turning 18 and his parents decided to send him back to Jack Echols because he was in fact his legal guardian. He had adopted him. So when he gets back to West Memphis, Arkansas, after a bus ride down, Jerry Driver met him at the bus station and he immediately threw him back in juvenile detention, saying that he had made threats against his family and that was a violation of probation. Wow. And then when he gets out, he stays with a few friends. He stays with Jason. And there was another friend that they had he talks about in his book, and he would just kind of hop around there. But then Jerry insisted that he stay with Jack because Jack was his legal guardian. All right. So when he was released, Driver said that he had to get a GED and check in with him every week. And he did all of that. But it still wasn't good enough for Jerry. Jerry continued to hone in on Damien Jason Baldwin because they hung out together and wore band tees, and Dominique because she and Damien had started seeing each other again. So Deanna's out of the picture. Dominique's back in.
She's back. Yeah.
Yes. So Jason said that it was rumored about him being satanic because he loved Metallica, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, and U2.
Yeah. Not Cannibal Corpse, which was firing up good at that time.
Oh, they would have. I'm sure they, I'm sure they would have gotten right on into them.
They would have burnt the whole county down. Yeah. Cannibal Corpse Grinder show up with a claw machine.
Right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Corpse Grinder is the sweetest human ever.
I know. I want to play claw machine.
I know. So, and Jason also had one of the best mullets that you will ever see in your entire life. Like
really?
It was
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, he had Billy Ray. No. I mean, it was so much better than Billy Ray's. Billy Ray wished he had Jason Baldwin's mullet. Yes.
I can't wait to see pictures.
So he said that he and Damien loved the same things. They also both hated their lives. And like his mom, Damien suffered from depression. Now, Jason was a good boy for the most part. His mother was actually schizophrenic and would leave for days at a time, leaving Jason to be a parent to take care of his younger siblings. And he was good at it. Like, he took good care of his siblings. Now, back to May 1993 when the murders happened. Damien's parents moved back to Arkansas and he moved back in with them. Shortly after, the police began questioning Damien without any real reason other than the fact that he was the weird goth kid that Jerry Driver suspected, and he was in the ear of Chief Investigator Gary Gitchell. Oh, Gitchell. So the police had asked Jerry to come up with a list of juveniles that he had in his system, and of course, Damien was at the top of that list. Damien was given a polygraph exam in one of these questionings, and it was noted that he revealed deception in the exam. But guess what? There is zero record of this. The examiner just says this with no evidence. So this will happen a lot over the whole investigation. A lot. There will be lost evidence, basically just taking people's word for shit. I mean, it's, ugh.
I can already tell where this is going.
So police and other officials will just, they'll just say whatever. This is so disrespectful to me, to the victims and their families. They basically just create the narrative of what they think and then manipulate people and the media into believing their narrative without any real investigation.
Right. The good old boys can't be wrong.
Never.
They cannot.
I mean, these three precious boys were brutally murdered. And you just make shit up and get everybody to go along with it. I mean, everybody. You have to watch the documentaries Paradise Lost to see how thick the rumor mill was. I mean, it was insane. So, of course, parents want answers. Rumors have started, and the investigators were lazy, to say the least. And like I said before, people were believing that this had to be a satanic ritual, and nothing else was looked into. Gary Gitchell originally thought that it was a lust murder. And he actually, because of the way the boys were tied up and the knots that were in the shoestrings, he actually looked into Vietnam veterans because there was some significance there with the knots. But then they threw that shit right out the window when Jerry Driver started getting in his ear. Nothing at the crime scene suggested that it was a satanic ritual. Nothing. So on May 5th, the murders happened. On May 7th, it exploded onto the news and media, and that's when Damien's questioning started, asking him about local satanic cults and if he had ever seen one. And he had no information on this. Now, he did lean into the weird goth kid persona a lot. That was his thing, you know. Right. So, I mean, he was probably a smartass to him because he hadn't done anything. So he did not take them seriously at all.
He was trying to push back. You know, he's just, what the hell am I doing here? You know?
Right. Yeah. So they asked him about his favorite book in the Bible. And as a person who was made to read the Bible her entire childhood, I couldn't answer that question. Just saying. And there are people that I know that know nothing about the Bible. And does that make them a devil worshiper? Does it make them a murderer? No, it does not. But they watched him constantly, and they even took a Polaroid picture of him. He complied with everything that they asked because they were the police and he actually trusted them to do the right thing. But they used that photo to ask people around town if they knew anything about the Satan worshiper or this Satan worshiper named Damien Echols. And through power of suggestion, it worked. And people were like, yeah, I've seen him worship Satan. And one guy even said that Damien made him levitate.
Really?
Yeah.
So why isn't Jesus doing that?
Why is it when we go to our music festivals and concerts, you know, we're all kind of gothy. Why aren't we all levitating? I mean, there are times where I'm so excited I feel like I could levitate, but
yeah.
I don't actually do it. You know what I mean?
I will say this in a little back history real quick. I'm going to take a second. I spent a lot of time doing Native American things in my life, and I'm very Caucasian as fuck. But I did a lot of powwows and a lot of Native American stuff. I watched a drum levitate one time. But if you think about it, if there's like some kind of...
Well, that's scientifically
G-force,
possible.
Yeah, like a G-force, like you're beating the hell out of the top of this drum, the bottom, you know what I'm saying? So, but I watched it like stay in one spot off the ground. That was really cool to me. But that's the only levitation that I was young, so I thought that, you know, that was a thing. So anyhow, that was the only levitation I've ever seen spiritually.
But I mean, you know, you ain't never seen a human levitate, have you?
No.
Okay.
A couple of people in Las Vegas, you know.
So someone said that the police told him they found body parts under Damien's bed. And John Mark Byers, the father of Chris Byers, said that the police told him that Chris's genitals were in a jar under his bed, and it was just not fucking true. Like, Mark Byers says this, or John Mark, says this in the documentary. He's like, it is an actual fact because that was what he was told. And he was just baffled that at this point, Damien wasn't even arrested yet. And he was just baffled that he had already heard that and nobody was in jail yet. Now, John Mark Byers is an absolute fucking character and he gets on my last nerve. I'm not even going to lie. But he is the loudest one on that documentary.
You're fired up right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm loving it. I mean, this is fucked up.
It is. It's insane. Though. It's insane.
Fired up.
Luckily, I know the outcome, but it's a fucking horrible journey. So the police continued to question Damien about and accuse him of cult activity daily. His grandmother sold her wedding rings to hire a lawyer when things appeared to start getting serious. The police would not let the lawyer into the station while he was being interrogated. They would not let him in. Wow. And in his book, Damien says that his grandmother sold her wedding rings for absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
That's illegal. That is illegal. To not let a lawyer into the station during an interrogation. Now, he was not a minor, but he was still freshly 18.
Right.
And you have the right to have an attorney. You have the right to not speak to anyone without a lawyer present.
He was waiting on that lawyer because he's seen the rings, he's seen it, all the money go away, and all the history and just everything, just to try to bail. He knew he was in the right. I mean, as far as I know, right now, this kid is in the right. I mean, just a little punk kid that's just trying to learn life and figure out and
has had the shittiest childhood.
The shittiest childhood to begin with. Yeah. God. Yeah. The fuck.
The accused, they were not told about this right that they have to have an attorney, and they didn't understand it. They didn't understand what was going on. That's what just makes me so sad. You just see the utter confusion on all of them about all of it. And Damien honestly believed that they couldn't prove that he did it because he didn't do anything. Right. And he says this in several interviews later on. And it just makes me so fucking mad.
So they're railroading everything.
Everything.
And they're trying to get around everything for defense because they know they don't have anything.
One of his interrogations lasted 8 hours, and they had to let him go because they had nothing on him.
They're trying to beat him into saying, yeah.
Right.
Basically.
And he did not comply. He had only told them what he had heard through media,
strong-minded,
through the small town rumor mill, everything.
Yeah.
So on June 3rd, Damien, Jason Baldwin, and Damien's sister Michelle and Dominique here were at Damien's trailer watching Leprechaun. Damien's parents and grandmother were at a casino for the evening, and Jason had the night off from babysitting his siblings because he had done well in school, and his mom hired a babysitter so that he could hang out with his friends.
Special night, yeah.
So while they're watching Leprechaun, the police came beating down the door at 10:30 at night. Damien answers the door to 3 cops with guns pointed at his face. They arrested Damien and Jason. And Jason was asking, what was this for? And they told him capital murder. And he begs and pleads and says, you have the wrong people. Right. Like he actually believed they were at the wrong house. And once at the police station, Gary Gitchell tells Damien that his friend had already confessed and he should just come clean. And Damien was so confused because he knew it wasn't Jason because they had not done this crime. So what the fuck were they talking about?
Right.
So they wouldn't tell him anything and made him stay the night in jail. And on June 4th at 10 a.m., he was brought into court where Jason and a kid named Jesse Miskelly, who Damien barely knew, by the way, were arraigned on 3 counts of capital murder of Steve Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Byers. And that's where we'll pick up next week for part 2 of the West Memphis Three.
Like, I'm holding my breath through most of this.
I'm holding back tears.
Yeah,
and I've
she's
already
holding
cried
back tears, and I'm holding my breath. I'm like, what is she going to say next? What really happened? Like, what are they just flinging at these kids just because they're a little bit different? Because they're not the cookie cutter Bible Belt kids,
right?
You know, and this is railroaded. This seems railroaded to me, but I don't know.
It makes me nauseous.
I don't know.
Like,
yet.
Honestly,
I don't know yet. Where's the twist? This is a twist to begin with. Oh my God.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts my heart.
Yeah, you're a mess.
Like I have, earphones in while typing this, while I'm, listening and writing notes and typing, and I'll just break out into tears and silence. Like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm okay. Just having a moment.
The next paragraph.
Yeah. Literally.
5 more minutes. What a puddle.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why you have been geeking about this. Insane. So what do you guys think so far? Like, there's 2 more of these. Oh my goodness. I'm excited.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It was like, okay, our first 2 episodes, yeah, they were.
Like I said, I could make this a 10-part and it still wouldn't cover all the bullshit.
Yeah, it's like you haven't even got your feet wet yet. Seriously?
Yeah, we're just still pretty much at the beginning. We're still pretty much at the beginning, but I had to give you some backstory on these boys. I felt that was very important.
Yeah.
Because it helps you understand why they got to where they get to.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a ride.
So what band are you plugging today?
Let me talk about this group real quick. Hang on here. So we were playing a show and in Jacksonville. We were playing a show in Jacksonville. I think it was Onyx Fest.
That sounds right.
I think it was called Onyx Fest. And there were some badass bands. And I think we were like second or something like that. And this band from Atlanta came down. They were called Actus Reus. They might call it Actus Reus, but I call it Actus Reus. But
they're fucking wonderful.
They're fucking wonderful. So like so one of the guitar players wears a bucket hat, and I always wore a bucket hat. So they had just seen me bumping around on stage wearing a bucket hat.
And Roman from Ginger wears the bucket hat.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
that's right. We're all bucket heads here. But so
I love it. I love the look.
So yeah, he kind of come up and was talking about our show, and he was really digging our band. And I was just, kind of just talking with him and then before I knew it, the whole band was like around me, and we were like talking, and I'm like, I'm going to buy some merch. I don't even know what these guys, haven't even heard them yet. And they were just so cool. They just hung out like the whole night. Like they were in and out, just hanging out with us. They bought merch off our table, and I'm trying to think what we did. So we went out back. They had a little back spot in the venue, and we came back right when they had fired up.
Was that 1904?
Yeah.
Okay.
1904 in Jacksonville. So,
not the year 1904, the venue 1904.
The venue 1904 in Jacksonville.
It's really cool. It's really cute.
They're kind of dying down a little bit. It's going to be everything's going to be at Underbelly, which is another venue right next to it.
Underbelly is great too.
Yeah.
We still haven't got to eat none of their barbecue, but
well, I ate it one time, but you weren't there that time.
Yes.
I had a little bit. It was so good. But so anyhow, they fired off, and holy to the fuck.
Mm-hmm. The showmanship, man.
Yeah. So in big music,
great stage presence.
Big music disclaimer: we play a lot of heavier music here, but send us some stuff. Like if you like different
we
genres,
like all genres.
I love it all. Doing this podcast, like if you have anything that you want to bring, just send us something. So we're gonna stick to this one website that we got going and up and running. So it's just drinkaboutsomething.site. That's it. And you can find all of our links. We're hooking up with pretty much every streaming platform. I think YouTube's the only thing we're not on. So we're not really video anyhow. So we'll do that later on. No big rush. But all the links, all the contacts, drinkaboutsomething.site. Share our stuff. We're building and we're moving forward and growing, and I'm loving it. But yeah, just send us some music and we'll check it out. If it's good stuff and the audio's good, I'm going to play it. I want to know about these people. I want to know about the bands. I want to know about their music. Love all kind of genres. Love it all. One of my favorite genres is old country music, but Motown is probably my favorite. So I just I listen to that. It's my thing. Send us some stuff. And back to Actus Reus from Atlanta. I think they're like kind of from the burbs of Atlanta-ish. I'm not sure exactly where. Those guys just slaughtered it.
Very much so.
Completely killed it. Moving on, like after that, I was just like, these got to be my bros because I want to be around this talent. I want to be around these guys. They're really awesome. They were just so happy to be in Jacksonville. The whole venue just blew up. It was just like, holy shit, what did we just see, And
Logan's a beast.
Logan is a beast. He is. And then like, on down the road, like we supported each other so much. Like we were band besties. Like even for the when we played at Rockville, it was like they came in second out of a contest of over 2,500 bands. I think we were like fourth, and we supported each other all the way up to that point. And that's what we told each other. We're going to use.
That was 2021 was a magical year, man. That was cool as shit. That was the best Rockville.
We were just both on board. So like all our love got us all the way there. And we even got to play at Rockville because we were so close to the finals. That was amazing. And then we went to another venue in Jacksonville. We played at one, right? I think we played at one in Jacksonville and left that venue and went over.
Yeah, caught their show at another venue in Jacksonville. And we went from Eclipse to
Archetype.
Archetype,
right?
yep.
We went from Eclipse to Art. They were playing Archetype. I was like,
and my battery was dead.
Oh, as soon as I got done playing, I was like, fucking Actus Reus is over there, dude.
We get in the car to leave to go to the second venue, and my battery was dead. But we got to jump off. We was good.
Yeah.
I had accidentally left on the light looking at my mirror.
Yeah. But it was like rush. We wanted to catch the bands, I was like,
it was a hot day. I had to make sure my makeup was still good.
And when we got there, it was like, was it Yosemite Slam?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Yosemite Slam?
Yosemite and Black.
Yosemite and Black. Why Slam? Oh, that's one of my friends on Facebook. Hey, Yosemite Slam. But so Yosemite and Black, which is like, he looks like a Native American guy that I used to powwow with back in the day. I swear. I'm sure I've met him before. And they have like a little person playing. Is that correct? I think.
Yes, that is
little
correct.
person is playing the bass. So like before they played, there was another band and he's hanging out
He was
with us.
cool as
I'm like, dude, we're hanging out with him.
Then he came and
didn't
rocked
even
out
know.
with us
We
for
didn't
the
know.
Actus Reus
Like,
set.
you know, there was
Yeah.
a band before they went on, right? And then he's hanging out with us before they got on stage. And then he got on there and grabbed the bass.
That's right. Yeah.
He grabbed the bass guitar because he's playing around with Silas because they're about the same height. Dude was amazing. Loved him. And it was just like, holy shit, is that the same dude setting up? Of course it is. We all knew it. I mean, all eyes on him, right? And he gets up there and grabs that bass and slaps my ass down with it, dude. It was so amazing.
He's slapping the bass.
But anyhow, Actus came on right there after that. Boom, dude. The whole place went.
And one of them like cut their
livid.
hand open
That's what I
playing.
was wanting to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the guitar
was
players
insane.
cut himself. He's bleeding everywhere. Like
It was metal
I
as
think
fuck.
I think he dropped his pick and he was just so into it. He like kind of, you know, he cut his finger. Like,
But it was a lot of blood.
There was no devil worshiping.
I had
going
baby
on.
wipes because I always have baby wipes. If you ever
No
need a baby
horses,
wipe, hit
no
me
nothing,
up.
No sacrifices.
There was no sacrificing of animals,
The only
horses,
thing we were
humans.
sacrificing was energy. In
Yes,
that place.
that's it.
And
We were
was
having a blast.
Insane.
Even though it's a wine-based bar, we were.
Oh, I mean, it was insane. So yeah, I have an Actus Reus song that I'm gonna plug in here, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's their newest song, and I'm completely excited about it. I want to leave you with a huge thank you, and
Thank you for listening.
We're loving this.
Keep going. Please tune in for the next part because y'all, I have poured my heart and soul into this case.
Yeah,
Don't let it be for nothing.
She
Please.
is just in it. She is just in it. I'm just excited, and I'm going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep kicking ass. I've
already got part 2 ready to go. I'm going to be working on part 3 this week.
Yeah, I got with Actus just the other day, and they're just like, dude, we got this new song out, and they were so happy. They were just like, dude, I haven't heard from you in forever, and I'm just so happy that you got something going on. I mean, other than music stuff, we have to have this creativity. You know, it's just like there's something that we can do. I can build together. You know, whether it's just sitting here talking about this crazy history, or if it's just I don't care what we're doing, dude. We got to do something.
And we are fat and sassy right now from Chinese.
That's why I'm like stuffy. I'm sitting here stuffy right now.
We're stuffy and swollen from sodium.
I have
But it was so good. Worth it. Food King Chinese restaurant in Lake City, Florida. Check it out.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is a staple.
Oh, it is so good. I'm full. I'm just like,
and if you put Food King together, you know what that spells, and they sell T-shirts.
So
with that
Food
shit on
King
it. Yes.
and
here's the Food King and Actus Reus.
Yeah, Actus Reus.
Satanic Panic and the West Memphis Three.
Hey, we love you
Cheers.
guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you for
Follow us
sharing.
on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram.
Drink about something.
That's a quick social media thing. There should.
We don't have a lot of followers yet.
No.
Follow us.
Follow us. I've been hounding everybody actually,
Yes.
so forgive me for now. But y'all do the same thing. We'll get some more folks in.
Even
here.
if you don't like true crime or bands and you know us, just follow us just because it don't hurt.
Yeah, well, there's
It don't
gonna be
cost
something
nothing.
cool in here. Right?
Yes.
But yeah, this song's called "Merciless," and it just came out from Actus Reus, and
I'm excited
you're
too.
gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely love it.
We need to catch another one of their shows soon.
Yeah, we do. I'm gonna hook up with them. We're gonna do something. I'm gonna tell them to come play at my house. Acoustic set.
Yes.
No, my cul-de-sac would burn down if they played here.
Honestly, though, I mean, we have hosted several. We live in a cul-de-sac in a decently quiet neighborhood. We have hosted some ragers, and we have never had the cops show up. Nobody has ever complained. I don't know what it is about our privacy fence and our back porch, but it's damn near soundproof, I guess.
Yeah, we have a curmudgeon that does live around us, but
Yeah.
haven't had any problems out of them.
Nope.
So, thank
Nope.
you.
Yes.
cul-de-sac.
Thank you.
No,
We'll be celebrating 11 years in this house soon.
I
Yep.
love it. I love it. Anything else you want to say to the guys, the crew, the fam?
just keep listening. Check out these bands. Like, even if you don't actually like that type of music, have an open mind. Check them out anyway.
Yeah, send them.
They deserve recognition for the art that they're putting out into the world.
If you like anything heavy, you're going to love this band.
If you like heavy, you're definitely going to love them. If you don't like heavy, just check it out anyway. Broaden your horizons.
You're going to dig it. So
your palate may be more cultured than you think it is.
Yeah.
Yes. You never know.
Well, it's the grooves for me, really. That's all I care about, really, the grooves. Like the little breakdowns.
It's like I didn't know that I liked anything until I tried it. So,
yeah. I don't like pig's feet.
Nope. Tried it. Didn't like it. But I tried it, though. Not a fan.
Yeah.
But that girl that was on that barbecue show we was watching the other night, hers actually looked good. Like, I might have tried hers.
Yeah.
It was smoked barbecued pig's feet. I was like, okay, girl.
Anyhow. So I'm going to leave it with you guys. Here's Actus Reus. We'll see you guys next Friday.
Yes. For part 2, West Memphis 3. Be ready to hear me cry again on the pod.
Here we go. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Put your money where your mouth is on. Put your money where your mouth is on. Come and fucking get it.
So, yeah, that was Actus Reus with Merciless, and I loved it. I really did.
Fucking hot.
And so I use the song at the beginning of our podcast. I use GroovePad, and we use Bandler to mix this and audio editor. And big shout out to you fans. We see you guys next Friday. See ya, peace.